Hey all, it's almost 9 o'clock tonight, the day of YCS Anaheim concluded. Congratulations to Triff on his victory with Ryziel, and they released the ban list shortly after the ceremony concluded. And I kind of just wanted to talk about it a little bit because I've been sitting here sleeving up my Malice deck. And it's just been kind of gnawing away at me just how frustrated it is to continually get these, kind of weird ban lists over and over. So I just wanted to kind of share my thoughts and just kind of throw it out there and discuss what the next couple months of the game is going to look like, I guess. First of all, I will say that I really enjoyed the presentation of the, not the ceremony, but the reveal, I guess I should say. It's always nice to just see the people behind Konami and kind of get that connection with them. Like, these are people that, are trying to do their best for the game within the confines of, running a successful business. So I get it. But it was fun. It's just nice to have that. It was hype to hear the crowd cheers and all that stuff. And I would like to see them do this more interactive style going again into the future rather than just waking up at like 9 a.m. or something on a weekend, or waking them up early in the morning before work. It's like, look at Twitter. Oh, a ban list dropped. Okay, cool. This is something I got to talk about now. So that was nice, but then obviously the contents of the list probably weren't great, and let's just go over it real quick. Starting with the unlimits, basically everything was super unimportant, and it's not really going to change anything. Everything that just was at 2 last list went to 3. So Blaster, Pankratops, Lunalight Tiger, Redox, Rescue Ace Airlifter. That one in particular is like crazy that it was like semi-limited or limited for like so long when there was no Rescue Ace left like for like the entire second half or more of 2024. Really weird that it took them this long, but it's better late than ever, I guess. Tempest, Tidal, Colossus, Ib, and Opening the Spirit Gates, which is a weird buff they decided to give you Bell, but it's fine probably if we check the list later. So yeah, just super unimportant. It's a lot of names, but if you're gonna see them, the odds are probably no. So it doesn't really matter to the state of the game, and yeah, again, super unimportant. Semi-limited, even less important cards, I would say. The dangers are pretty relevant. They can be tossed into a lot of stuff, so maybe not. Cyberjar, okay, yeah, you got it. Danger Jackalope, Danger Tsuchinoko. That's cool. I don't know what would use those other than Dark World, I guess. Or maybe that one guy that's still playing Phantom Knife somewhere. But, it gives people more opportunities to kind of play around. So that's fine. Eva is scary because it's like Fairy Block Dragon. And I hate Block Dragon and I hate Eva. And it contributed heavily to what made the early 2020 format with like Tri Brigade, Drytron, and VW kind of whack because Drytron was just so cringe when they got to pop off on you. But even with the new support, Drytron's probably not going to do anything because the Bestials exist and they're being played. So yeah, it probably doesn't matter. I'm just overreacting. And then Perform Pow Monkey Board, which I think got the errata. So again, could probably go to 3. Who gives a shit? And then for actually meaningful stuff, we have Tenpai Dragon Chandra, Phantom of Yubel, Sengen Kaiman, and Zodiac Barrage. So first, talking about the Tenpai stuff, good riddance. If you like playing against Tenpai, you're really strange, and I'd like to talk to you because it's like you're not playing Yu-Gi-Oh. You're playing Go Fish, and if your opponent pulls a board breaker and a Pydra, you lose the game. And it just created really lame locals and events where even if you won, the game is over in like 10 minutes. So I'm just sitting around, bumming around in the venue or my locals with nothing to do, just watching other people. I don't get to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And I think that's the problem with Tenpai, is it's just, you're not playing the game. Like, you show each other your hands and then a winner's decided. So I'm glad that they went. It was a cheap deck, so, it's hurt to those people that are trying to play on a budget. I understand that frustration, but it's just so cringe and so lame, and really unfun to play. Like everything about Tenpai is probably the worst aspects of Yu-Gi-Oh card design over the last couple of years just rolled up into one. Like no interaction. You can't. You don't get to play a lot of the game. Like it ends games really fast. There's no back and forth, which exacerbates the short turn problem. And yeah, just super uninteractive, super lame. Sorry, Tenpai players, but yeah, get out of here. Please find a new deck. Phantom of Yubel, this was probably the most expected hit from anyone you would probably ask. Yeah, it was really weird that they decided not to make it a restriction on the summoning, that you can summon multiple in a turn. That was just really lame, and I think when they decided to print that, it had to go to one. Like, there was no other option. Just starting your turn, protecting yourself with a monster negate, and then doing your combos is, like, really whack. Or you just get free link materials for no reason, and, you know, it's supposed to be a boss monster, right? Like, it just makes no sense. They get to link it off and recycle materials, and it also has a broken effect. It's like, yeah, so definitely needed. And then, you know, they still got Spirit Gates back, so, you know, there's a trade-off there. Yubel's probably still playable, but we'll have to see, which is why I thought it was weird that they released this list so early into the format. Like, I know Yubel did well, but it's like, shouldn't we give it a little more time to see how it plays? But that's fine. I'm not going to complain about that. Even if it didn't happen now, it was going to happen the next list for sure. And then Barrage is like the most WTF like unhit of all time. Like there's so many cards that I think you could unhit that would actually affect, maybe not affect the metagame, but it would give people new rogue decks to at least play around with. And Barrage is not one of those. Like with Trident Band, what are you doing with this? Like you're popping it, you're summoning a Zoo, and then making Borbo and trying to make a Zeus. Like, what does this do? It might as well have just gone to 3. Like, it's so out of touch and so random. It's like, it literally serves no purpose. And I think it's unlimited Master Duel, and it doesn't do anything. And for the bans, again, kind of why they didn't do a lot with this list is because we're so early into the format. You can't make sweeping changes because we haven't had a chance to see what the format is like. We played one big event, and obviously the crossover breaker stuff is really strong, but, you know, we got to give people time to kind of play around with it, you know, develop the meta, that sort of thing. So for Forbidden, Gimmick Puppet Nightmare, Jowgen, and Original Sinful Spoils. So I guess to talk about the Sanctifier stuff first, is like, that's great. It should have happened ages ago, or they should have just banned Sanctifier. I don't know why Sanctifier gets the anime protagonist. I guess because it's part of the lore cards, right? But they already hit like Branded Expulsion and other stuff, so yeah, it's really random, and it doesn't even solve the problem because Ra's Disciple exists. Someone posted a meme of it right in the comments here, so like, are you stupid? And Ito still exists, and I'm sure there's others that I don't know about, but like, you didn't even solve the problem. Like, you made it slightly better, but, you know, Brandon can still do the cringe stuff that nobody likes. Also, even if you think that this was enough to fix Branded, why didn't you just give them Branded Fusion back? Like, do we not want it to be used in other decks as like a splash or something, just for a Mirror Jade? Yeah, just really random and really out of touch hits, and Branded wasn't even doing anything with the Gimmick Puppet Nightmare, so it's like, why hit it? Why do you hate Branded players so much? I mean, obviously it's lame, but like, if they're gonna do this, then they're gonna hit the lame Floodgate cards for one deck. Why can't we just get Dimension Shifter? Why can't we get DDG? Why can't we get D-Barrier? Like, sure, Dimension Shifter would hurt Malice a little bit, but they would still perfectly be a great deck without it. And D-Barrier would even buff Ryziel because they can't or get their turn ended by a card that got set off of Thrust or something. So just, I don't know. I don't know what you guys are doing. It's, you know, been a year now at this point of just people complaining and complaining and complaining, and just they've decided that this is going to be the Banlist philosophy, and this is stuff we have to live with. So yeah, just kind of disheartening overall. And for Sinful Spoils, definitely needed to happen, because as long as this card exists, Diabellstar is never going to set anything else other than this or Deception. And even then, Deception still got you OSS with Murcielago. So it's just like, it has to stop. So I get that it had to happen, but at the same time, it's like, come on, we finally hit Snake Eyes in a way where it's like, I didn't feel like super depressed playing against it. Where it wasn't like super oppressive because they hit Poplar and they hit Ash. And now this takes out a bunch of other decks that had like fire monsters that you could play, like Rescue Ace with like Airlifter got taken off, right? So now that like takes stuff out of the equation. So yeah, I'm happy and sad at the same time. So it's like I would have rather just seen them hit Silva, because Silva's a super, right? Like it's not hurting anyone to do that. It's kind of like what they did with Desiree, where they made it a low rarity. And, you know, you take out a cringe Omni Negate that's really easily accessible, but then you let people keep playing OSS as, you know, an engine for their level 1 fires. So I get it. It needed to happen, but at the same time, it's like, it should have been, we should have hit this ages ago, right? And then Snake Eye would have been much better off playing. But no, we had to like suffer the worst of both worlds, where it was like, way overtuned. They didn't hit it enough. And then now they finally nail the coffin in after the deck's already kind of phasing out and not doing too hot. Whatever. Yeah, obviously the big things were the cards that were not here, as seems to be the case with a lot of these ban lists. And, you know, that's just the world we live in, I guess. And, yeah, so that was basically it. Kind of just like a set rotation, if you think about it. Like, you know, Pokemon has the letter rotation, so they'll rotate out D or E or F. I think F is the one that rotates. But yeah, so it forces you, if you have an older deck, like, you know, I was playing UV Max, it literally just deletes the deck, and that's kind of what they're doing here in a ban list sort of way. So you take all of the decks from 2014 and you take them out behind the shed for sure, and it's like, okay, those are gone. It's crossover breakers time. Like, this is the new format. This is the new set we're going to be playing on. So, I get it. You got to sell product, but at the same time, like, the decks were already really good in Anaheim, as we show, and I'm sure in future events they're just going to be even more popular now with the list. But even if the list didn't happen, they were going to be super popular and people were going to be playing them. And now you just killed a bunch of their competition. So, what are you going to do? But yeah, that was just kind of my thoughts. And if you haven't picked up Raziel or Malice by now, you should probably get on TCG Player. But yeah, thanks for kind of listening to me vent and kind of do a brain vomit about this. But we'll see. And here's to 2025 Yu-Gi-Oh!